Global Interstate System. A special presentation of BSIT 1 Block 1 Group 2. These are Group 2 members. I'm your group leader, Rodrigo M. Lanuso III, and these are my fellow members. Cyril Francisco, Danielle Becker, Mark Vincent Santos, and Emer Fries Jera Costa. What is Global Interstate System? The modern world system that is now a global economy with a global political system is the modern interstate system. In contrast, the global economy with the global political system is what we call global interstate system. Political relationship between these aspects, globalization in our economy.
It refers to the relationship between different state unions. Because global interstate system helps are defined by making the trade smoother and less costly because of the agreement and policies between countries. Hence, it makes importation and exportation easier.
It is a globalization as political process.
It looks into the nation-state and interactions with other political actors in the international community, such as other nation-states, international organizations, and non-governmental organizations.
It is the whole system of human interactions.
It is defined through their relationship to other states or through participation in the world economy, and that divisions between states help to divide the world into core, periphery, and semi-periphery. Therefore, the relationship to the other countries or participation in the world economy divides a nation or world to become dominated or become capitalistic in terms of growing the economy of the country. Before discussing the development of the contemporary global interstate system, it is necessary to understand first the concept of the nation-state. What is the concept of a nation-state? A nation-state is a country which is both a nation and a state. A sovereign state, of which most of the citizens or subjects are united also by sovereign factors which define a nation, such as language or common descent. The attributes of the contemporary global interstate system.
According to Lisandro and Abinales, today's global interstate system is characterized by the existence of the countries or states that are independent and sovereign, countries that interact with each other diplomatically, international organizations like the United Nations that help facilitate the interaction between states, and beyond simply facilitating meetings between states, international organizations also take on their lives of their own.
According to Max Weber, a state is a compulsory political organization with continuous operations through upholding a claim to the monopoly of legitimate use of physical force in the enforcement of its order.
According to Hedibol, a state as an independent political communities, each of which possesses a government and asserts sovereignty in relation to a particular portion of the Earth's surface and a particular segment of the human population. From this, you can derive the four elements of the state, namely territory, population or people, government, and sovereignty. Without any of these aforesaid elements, an entity shall not be considered as a state. While state is a political or a legal concept, a nation is an ethnic concept. The concept of nation historically emphasizes organic ties that hold groups of people together and inspire senses of loyalty and belonging. Members of a nation have a strong sense of belongingness and cohesion.
According to Benedict Anderson, it refers to the nation, an imagined community. Furthermore, it is a group of people with a common history, religion, language, beliefs, tradition, and culture.
According to the cultural anthropologist Arjun Appadurai, He argued that the nation-state as a complex modern political form is on its last legs.
According to management consultant Kenichi Omae, he claimed that economic interdependence and global communication had rendered the nation-state a nostalgic fiction. But then, governments now jockey for competitive advantage alongside international political and economic institutions, transnational civil society organizations, and multinational corporations. States now hold themselves accountable to a host of international norms and standards, often with the express purpose of gaining legitimacy at home and respectability abroad.
The key events in the origin of the global interstate system.
In 1648, Treaty of Westphalia, a set of agreements signed to end the 30 Years' War between the major continental powers of Europe. In 1803 to 1815, Napoleonic Wars, Napoleon Bonaparte and his armies marched all over much of Europe.
Concert of Europe, an alliance of great powers that sought to restore the Westphalian system in 1815 to 1914. End of World War I, advocacy for the creation of the League of Nations in 1918.
World War II, Allied powers versus the Axis powers. 1939 to 1946. Creation of United Nations. 1946.
The internationalism versus globalism. Internationalism is the desire of greater cooperation and unity among states and people in the international system. It is divided into two categories, namely liberal internationalism and socialist internationalism. Under liberal internationalism, you will encounter philosophers and thinkers like Immanuel Kant, Jeremy Bentham, Giuseppe Mazzini, and Woodrow Wilson. For socialist internationalism, there are Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and Vladimir Lenin.
Globalism, on the other hand, refers to the network of connections that transcends distances of different countries in the world. Compared to the term globalism, globalization would be better described as the increase or decline in the degree of globalism. New Year's Eve 2002, page 1, as cited by Aldama, 2018, page 68. In other words, the links among countries and people are better associated with globalism, while the speed in which they become linked with one another is globalization.
The effects of globalization up to governments.
According to the disciplining hypothesis, globalization restrains governments by including increased budgetary pressure. As a consequence, governments shift their expenditures in favor of transfers and subsidies and away from capital expenditures.
The globalization has positive effect on countries' economic growth and employment.
Globalization result a rapidly growing economic force has demonstrably become a developing
Aldama enumerated several challenges to the government of nation-states as affects globalization, namely, number 1, traditional challenges, number 2, challenges from national identity movements, number 3, global economics, and number 4, global social movements.
These challenges point to the development of the threats to the state sovereignty, external intervention from other nation-states, internal political challenges, and interventions from regional organizations can all undermine state sovereignty or traditional challenges. Differences in cultural identity and the movements adhering to such a varied cultural identity can also influence the affairs of the nation-state or challenges from nation or identity movements.
Furthermore, global economics demands the states to conform the rules of free market capitalism. Moreover, social movements, which pertain to movements of people that are spontaneous or that emerge through enormous grassroots organizations, are one of the contemporary trends of today's political landscape. Due to their transnational operation, the states have little to none control over them.
The importance of global interstate system.
It would sustain the economy and support international competitiveness even as the economy evolved from industrial era to an information age in a worldwide marketplace. In addition, the global interstate system has proven invaluable to the national defense through countless military endeavors.
And this is the presentation of Group 2 PSIT Block 1. Group 2 signing out. Thank you very much.